this video, LeBron James is not playing any basketball due to an injury. Injuries are one of the things that can devastate not just a player, but a whole team. Because one member's influence, especially someone like LeBron James, can drastically affect how well or how poorly a team does. But that is exactly why LeBron James goes and does somewhat extreme things to try and make sure that injuries not only don't happen, but that his body remains in the best shape possible. So given that, allow us to show you the ways LeBron spends $1.5 million on his body each year. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Number 7. Trust the process. When you hear that LeBron James spends $1.5 million on his body each year, you might think that this is an extraordinary amount. But when you weigh in all the factors, you might think that it's actually a price that could be a lot more. First off, yes, while $1.5 million of anything is a lot, for LeBron, he's worth well over $450 million. Plus, he's spending that on his body every year, not every month or even week. The reason we mention this is that various starlets, both male and female in the world, spend millions on themselves in ways that honestly don't matter. From buying all sorts of cars, to getting outfits that they'll only wear a few times, to various kinds of makeup, it's basically an overload, all so they can feel better. Yes, LeBron does that himself in his own way, but in this instance, he's focusing his time and money into something tangible that he knows can benefit him long term, especially as he grows older and his NBA career grows longer and longer. Number 6. Peak performance. So now the question becomes, why does LeBron need to do this and spend that much on his body? Well, here's the thing. While many of you viewers have jobs, and some of you may have very physical jobs, it likely isn't a job that is both physical and has lots of people judging you for what you do every time you do it. LeBron has that kind of job. Never forget, LeBron James isn't just an athlete. He's a superstar on another level in the NBA, and even in all of sports. He is constantly expected to perform at not just peak levels, but to deliver victory for his teams that he's on. Every time he loses, people will wonder why LeBron didn't do this or do that, or something else that's minor and sometimes meaningless. To his credit, he's been on 3 teams in the NBA during his long tenure, and won rings for all of them. It wasn't always easy, and he got some flack for some rings and had some lucky breaks to help him with others. But the point is, he came to play every single time and was ready every single time. So in short, to not do all he can to keep his body sharp would mean that he's not giving 100%, and that's simply something LeBron James won't do one bit. He's driven to perform, and he doesn't want to let his team or his fans down. So to be at peak performance, he has to go and do things that most people would deem excessive, but he knows will keep his body fit and happy. Number 5. Treating one's body like a temple or an investment. Moving on to the next important question for LeBron's body, how does everything he does add up to $1.5 million? The answer to that is that he undergoes a lot of procedures and treatments, non-surgically of course, to keep his body going at its peak. Or as one former teammate of LeBron's, Mike Miller, noted, he treats his body like a temple, or an investment. Miller said, via Bleacher Report, where a lot of people don't do it, he puts a lot of money behind taking care of his body. A lot of people think it's a big expense, but that big expense has allowed him to make a lot more money for a long period of time. By treating it like a temple, Miller means that LeBron makes sure he doesn't put anything in his body that he doesn't think will help it, or have long-term effects. So for example, he'll only eat fast food occasionally, but he won't do things like smoking because that can harm your body. Same with drinking. He might drink occasionally, but never to excess. If he doesn't maintain this belief, it means he could fail in what he wants to do. Plus, like an investment, the more you stay on top, the more deals you get, the more money you make, and so on and so forth. Number 4. His team of experts. Without a doubt, between his high school and pro years, LeBron has learned a variety of techniques to get himself in shape and get himself ready to play. But he can't do it all without help. Thus, he's hired a team of people from trainers to massage therapists to help him get his body ready for just about anything. According to ESPN, when James was having back problems in 2015, he reached out to David Alexander, a trainer he worked with in Miami. Alexander pointed James to Donnie Raymond, a former Navy SEAL who's an expert in biomechanics. Raymond helped James work on his core strength, eventually fixing his back problems. James eventually hired Raymond full-time, and Raymond moved to Akron, Ohio to be close to James. And that's just one person who helps him. He no doubt has people giving him new exercise techniques, healing methods, food options to eat, and so on. With every person helping him, he learns and grows and gets new elements to a routine that'll help him maintain the body style and endurance that he needs to keep going, which for LeBron is a huge deal. Number 3. Gym. If you want to be in peak condition, you need to work out and train to maintain your form, strength, endurance, agility, and so on. But having convenience when you train is always nice. So thus, when it comes to going to the gym, LeBron doesn't have to go to the Lakers stadium or practice facility to do that. Instead, he just has to walk a short distance in his house. Or in this case, the mansions he owns. Yes, we said mansions. LeBron has several, and he made sure that he perfectly replicated the gyms of his teams in those rooms so that he can perform at the highest level possible with minimal travel time. At first, this may seem a bit excessive, but think about it from LeBron's perspective. It means less travel time, more workout time, and should something come up, he can just pause his workout and get back to it at his earliest convenience. This technique is used by many in certain ways. Here's another reason this was a great idea: the pandemic. When everything shut down, that meant his practice facility shut down too. But because he had gyms in his homes, he could stay in peak shape, which is why he was able to come out strong in the NBA bubble and beyond, because he didn't have to wait to work out again. It no doubt cost him to make sure he had a gym in his many homes, but it's an investment, and since the Lakers won the title last year, a worthy investment. Number 2, special healing treatments. LeBron knows better than most that you can build your body up to the highest levels, but after a hard game, if it doesn't heal, it won't be ready for the next one. LeBron wants to heal, but he also wants to heal fast so that he can be ready at a moment's notice for his next workout. To do that, he goes and uses a cryo chamber. He super cools his body for like a minute, and it does about the same amount of healing as an ice bath in just a fraction of the time. He also goes and uses a hyperbaric chamber to infuse his body with more oxygen. This gives you a better muscle output and can even help your mind. As if that wasn't enough, he gets special clothing to wear to improve blood flow. As we noted, he ensures that he puts good foods into his body, and more. Excessive? In a way, but these aren't snake oil techniques. These are ones that are proven to work and have been shown to do good things in people's bodies. And LeBron wouldn't use them if he wasn't confident that they helped him. Number 1, the results speak for themselves. So when you put all this together, you get a $1.5 million treatment plan that has been keeping LeBron in peak shape and still playing like an MVP. Current injury aside, he's not showing any signs of slowing down, and his production in the regular season so far has put him back in the MVP talks. And the Lakers are again the frontrunners for the NBA title. You can't really deny the results when it's clear that they work. So what do you think? What do you think of this look at LeBron James, and how he has gone to every limit possible in order to stay healthy, be fit, and thus help himself and his NBA team he's on in the process? Do you admire the dedication that LeBron James has to staying in his peak condition? Do you feel that this will help him continue on in the NBA for a few more years? Do you think he'll recover from his injury soon? Let us know in the comments below, be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time on the channel.